Kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1969. Oops, common mistakes at hang on, that's not the title of it. It is Common Genealogy Mistakes. That was it. And I apologize if you were just watching us a few minutes ago when we were having a technical issue. We ended up having to cancel everything, and for somehow even during the reboot, the recording still kept going. So apologies for that. We are back, we are live, and we are ready to rock and roll. So I came across this article that was written by Mark McDermott, and he has this program, this thing called Genealogy Explained. He has this website. It is an awesome website to follow. And so he had this article there about 11 embarrassing mistakes every genealogist has made. Not just any genealogist, but anybody who does family tree research will make these mistakes. And these are common mistakes, and I've made some of these in my learning and my growth. And as we went online and everything else, I made a lot of mistakes along the way. And now I am paying for it and having to go back and redo them. And so these are very, very common mistakes. So one of the first ones is same name. Yes, you will. If you have been through this, I have been through it. I've talked about John Eakins, my third great grandfather. No, hang on. I can't remember which grandfather he was. Yeah, third great grandfather, I think he was. No, that was George. Hang on. Harry, Thomas, George, John, fourth great grandfather. I had to go through 183 John Eakins to find the one that fitted in my tree. Over a 5 year, there was, I had roughly his birth year was estimated. So I went 5 years either side, so 10 years. In that 10-year period, in this one small community, small county of Huntingdonshire, I went searching. I came across I went through 183 John Eakins to find the one that fitted in my tree. Now, in the earlier days, I also made mistakes by seeing those little green leaves that come up on Ancestry and go, oh, we found a thing, and going in and going, yes, that looks right. Yes, that looks right. That's right. And accepting it. And the problem with accepting it is that not only did it give me the information it showed, it brought in all these siblings as well. And I was looking at the siblings going, those are not that person's siblings. So I've got the right parents. I've got the right person. I've got the right spouse, their children. But as far as the siblings go, it's got 16 siblings listed there. I only know of 5, and they're not even listed in that 16. Oh, crap. So with the same name thing, it's a very difficult thing to do. And you think, oh, I found that person. And even if you have an unusual name, yes, typically it is easier to find if it is an unusual name, but that's not always the case. And I have come across that with a client's records. I thought, oh, that's a pretty uncommon name, so we should be able to find the things. But I went in, full genealogy hat on top, saying, okay, we have to check all of our resources and we have to check everything before we can accept the information. And I am so glad that I did, because I found out that there were 3 people of that same name born around the same time to 3 different sets of parents, all in that same area of that particular country that I was researching at the time. So I was glad I'd done the research. It's okay, Zeffie. She's close to treat time and walk time. Well, she hasn't had her walk today. She's been having some issues today with energy, and we've been trying to keep her fed, and she hasn't been very cooperative on that part. But so it's dropped her blood sugars, which is, if it gets too low, that's when she has the seizures. So we've had one almost major seizure and about 2 or 3 little almost started ones. She'll stick her tongue out and start panting. I just poke her tongue back in. It seemed to work. Don't ask me how, but we just stayed in place for a very long time. So yes, so you've got to cross-reference. So when you're looking at names, you've got to cross-reference everything: dates, locations, occupations, everything. You can make comparison charts. You can do something like on a spreadsheet, put the names of the people across. Here's their date of birth. Here's the place that they were born. Oh, this one's a little different. But we'll put it in there anyway, because we still need to cross-reference everything. This is who the mother is listed. This is who the father's listed as. And you may not know who the parents are at the time. So this could be a way of finding out. This is where they lived, and they were on this census. This is where they lived, and they were on this census, and this is da-da-da, and the census da-da-da-da-da. And so you're putting all of this information across about this person that you know, and you keep adding to it. And then you can use the columns to then compare the different ones to figure out now which one is it, which one is not. Who do you know that he was married to? They may say Mary. Well, Mary's another issue too. There's a lot of Marys out there. A lot. So on my female side of the family, under Eakins, they got married to a lot of Marys, Elizabeths, Sarahs, and Rebeccas. Yeah. Just trying to think, was there another one in there? And Anne was the other one. There's 5. Mary, Elizabeth, Anne, Rebecca. What did I say the other one was? Hi, sweetie girl. I know. Go sit, go lay down and eat your biscuit. Go on, go eat your biscuit. Yeah, so there's 5 females and 5 males that were very common that the guys got married to. Yes. So actually, Sarah, Anne, Mary, Elizabeth, and Rebecca. Yeah, those were the 5. I tell you. So you put the spouses down as well. If you've got any information about the spouse, put that in too. So make up these comparison charts. Just use a spreadsheet. You can use a spreadsheet to do it. It makes it very quick and very easy because you can just look along the lines, across the lines, and see, is there overlap on information? Because it could be that you're looking at, you may have 5 Johns up there, 5 John Smiths, and you're looking at these 5 John Smiths, and one of them is completely out of it because of location, parent. But then you've got 3 that are showing exactly the same bits of information with some changes, with some differences in there. Those 3 could be the same person. They could all be one person. Until you do cross-referencing and everything, you're not going to know. This is why it takes a while to research things, because you've got to cross-reference. Create detailed notes. Your future will thank you. I love that line that he put in there. Future you will thank you. Use middle names, nicknames, suffixes. So juniors, the 3rd, the 5th, and consider spelling variations. And so I even have, so these are some ways that you can get around it. So cross-reference everything, create detailed notes, use middle names, nicknames, suffixes, especially nicknames, because John's could be written as Jack. Remember that one. Although I'm still not sure how Jack could be a nickname to John. If anybody could explain that one to me, I would love to hear that. Consider the spelling variations. You know, we did a whole thing about talking about spelling variations of last names. She's whining. You're going to have to wait a few minutes, see. So question everything. I'm going to talk about some of the things that you can use. I've got props. Seffi, just lay down. Okay? Just lay down. Give me a few minutes, all right? Good girl. Come here. Then you've got, so that's one of the things that you can do. That's the first one. So we're on to 11. So we're doing 11. We're going to run through that. We might even do a part 2 tomorrow night. Number 2, you've got the where you're at 2 a.m. in the morning, you're on your 7th or 8th cup of coffee, you get that, and all of a sudden this little shiny green leaf on Ancestry pops up, and you're like, oh, I really need to go to bed and get some sleep. And then it's like, oh, I have a new hint, I got to go check it out. Click. Oh, that looks like my person. Yay, I found the information I've been looking for. Woohoo. Stop, wait just a minute, Mr. Bossman. I'm sorry. Wait, that green leaf may or may not fill in the information that you are looking for. Again, you're going to have to treat every green leaf with healthy skepticism. Yes, it may or may not be the person you are looking for. Yes, it may look like it has all the same information that's there, plus that little bit that you're looking for. Verify, 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 then verify again. Don't trust user-submitted trees blindly. This happens a lot on familysearch.org because everybody puts their trees up. Everybody goes make changes to other people's trees and everything else. If I make a change to a tree, there's a little box that comes up and goes, why are you making this change? And I will put in there, I am making this change based on this person's birth certificate number, blah, 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 blah. And this is the information that was on the certificate. And sometimes, no, they don't allow image uploads on that particular thing. But you can put that you've got a certified copy of the birth certificate in front of you, and this is the information that is on there. So you are correcting the birth date, or it might be a baptism. You got a copy of a baptismal record. I know, Zephy. Just go lay down, sweetie girl. Just go lay down. Go on. I'll be there in a minute. So keep track of your sources. How do you do that? Look for original So this here is a research log. Okay, so up the top, you've got where the ancestor's name goes in here. You've got the objective. You know, you've got the ancestor's name here. You are looking for, you've got your question. What is your question? Your hypothesis, your theory. You're looking for the parents of, or you're looking to see if this is, if John Eakins is the son of George and Sarah Eakins. You know, and that's your question, your objective. You're looking for evidence that this John Eakins is the one that is the son of George and Sarah Eakins. And you will have in parentheses next to the parents' names their date of birth, their year of birth, and their year of death. And you'll also have the same up here as well next to his name. And then Where were they located? Where were they located? Then down here, you've got, let's see, what do we got here? Date of search, the location or the call number, description of the source, author, title, year, pages. It tells you exactly what you need here. You can create this in a spreadsheet because there's not a lot of room to write on here. This is great if you are going in person and you're just using pen and paper. And then you've got comments, purpose of the search, the results, years and names searched. And then if you have a document number, you've got room to put that there. You can create this in a spreadsheet. So you can just copy and paste the information from the website directly into here along with the web address as well. And then you've got everything logged in here where you've tracked it and you're tracking your sources. That's one copy of a type of there's different research logs. You can make up any one that you want as long as you have the basics in there. This one has the date, the repository, so where you searched, the sources searched, the surname search, the objectives, and the results. And that just goes across there. It's just a very basic one for general searching. But I like the other one because it tells me who I'm researching at the time and what am I trying to find. So when I've got a client who says they're looking for information on their grandfather, and I go, what information are you looking on him? They said, well, we really don't know who he was or what he did. So who was this person? And he was the son of blah, 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 or the father of da, 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 da. So we can put that information in there. Those can be created in spreadsheets. Not a problem. And keeping track of your sources too. Prop number, I don't know what we're up to, 3. Evidence Explained. This is a very thick book, but I will tell you, this is one of the best resources out there for how to source your documents. I mean, it covers everything. This has got census records in here. You got a chapter on that. It's a great, notice the colors of the pages. The gray pages there, if you go in, it will have at the beginning of the gray pages, it'll have what the section is about. Then you can go down and look at the type of information that you're getting it from. So each chapter has a table of contents. Then the next ones are the quick check method. Is it done correctly? So I don't know how clearly you can see that on there, but it lists the order that everything has to be done in, and then it goes into the rest of the chapter giving you specific examples and everything else. This is like the Bible on evidence. You also have 2. That one was written by Elizabeth Shawn Mills, and that's the 3rd edition revised. This is Mastering Genealogy Documentation, and it's put out by the National Genealogical Society here in the States. And this here, again, it takes you through how to, and it even has exercises. This is what I like. This is actually a workbook, like a textbook. So you can go through and learn how to cite the stuff. But then at the back, it has chapter exercises so that you can practice what you have learned. I had to use this one time in a class that I was doing. I was actually doing a whole class on sourcing, and these were our textbooks. That's what we had to use. Zeffy girl, I know you want it outside, don't you? Probably. So track your sources. That's the way to do it. Cite your sources. Very, very, very important. Be slow and steady. This is a marathon. It is not a sprint. This is a marathon. Genealogy is a marathon. Look for original documents if you can when you're adding people. And this is the last one I'm going to do for today, even though it's number 3, but I've got a dog I need to take care of. This book here, I know, sweetie girl, I'll be right with you, okay? Go lay down. Go lay down. I'll be right there. This book here, the Genealogical Standards, 2nd edition revised, this is absolutely brilliant. I don't know where that came from. This goes through how to research. It gives you anything you need to know about researching genealogy is in here. These are the standards that the professional genealogists have to follow. These are our standards. And this is what we hold ourselves to. This was done by the board for Board for Certification of Genealogists are the ones that wrote it. They're the ones that approved it and everything else. And this has everything in here. How to do the research. How long do you research? Until you have exhausted all possible things. And one other thing I'm going to show you before I go for the day is that the Family Tree magazine put out this really cool booklet that had all these different forms in it. One of the forms it had in there is this one here, Records Checklist. Look how many records there are to go through. They've got things on here like business and employment, and then they've got a whole bunch of stuff in there. Cemetery and funeral home, what do you look there? Census reports, churches, courts, directories, home sources, immigration, institutional, land and property, military, newspapers, published sources, and vitals. And then underneath each of those headings, they have, like, under vitals, amended birth certificates, delayed birth certificates, death certificates, marriage licenses and certificates, stillbirth certificates, divorce and annulment decrees. Have you checked all of those for your relatives? This is a great checklist. I love this. And then on the back of it, because the next page is your relationship chart, how to work out first cousins, second cousins, first cousins once removed, grandparents, nieces, aunts, uncles, and all that stuff. So for that, we are stopping at the end of number 2. We're going to pick this up tomorrow night and do the rest of them. I've got a dog I need to go take care of. Otherwise, I would have kept going. But with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we will be back tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific with 3 through 11, I hope. Until then, have a super fantastic